Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of 100 Yards of Running, week number two. Ladies and gentlemen, but before we get to week number two, we have to review what happened in week one. Now, week one started Thursday, and we have to talk about this because when I seen this, it was so unacceptable. When did football players start spitting on each other, ladies and gentlemen? That's just beyond me. And what I'm talking about is the Philadelphia Eagles, the remaining Super Bowl World Heavyweight Champions, playing host to Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, when this game started, like 6 minutes into the game, Dak, some people say Dak added on, some people say Jalen Carter added on. To me, I'm giving my full opinion on what happened. But let me tell you what happened. Dak spits on the floor, shrugs his head up to Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter walks up to Dak Prescott, and he spits on him. Now, folks, when did we start doing that? When in the National Football League or in football ever did football players start spitting at each other? And this isn't the first time I've seen it, and I was disgusted when I seen this too. College football, you had Florida playing against, I think it was Mississippi State or Boise State. They were playing somebody, and the football players are just spitting at each other. Is that what football is resorting to now, ladies and gentlemen? Players spitting on each other? You guys are professional athletes. You make millions of dollars. Now, Dak didn't get fined, but Jalen Carter got fined $57,222 for spitting at Dak Prescott. Which to me, he lucky he didn't get suspended. And I'm saying this now. I'm sorry. I love the NFL, but the NFL got soft. This isn't the NFL that I grew up. I grew up on guys like Troy Aikman, Lawrence Taylor, Steve Young, Brady, Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, to name a few. I don't know what's going on in this new generation of football, but it has to change and it has to stop. You guys are making billions of dollars, and spitting on each other is unacceptable. That is disgusting. And if that was me, I wouldn't want to play in a league like that where I have athletes spitting at me. That's nasty. You don't know what they got. You don't know what they did that day or whomever they did it with. That's neither here nor there. But this is the National Football League. This is a sport that we all love to watch. And spitting at each other is very unacceptable. That's just my opinion on that. But back to the game itself. Dallas tried to, come back. Dak threw a couple of late passes to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee did what CeeDee and Dallas do every year. And why should you be surprised? Ladies and gentlemen, you paid Dak Prescott, you paid CeeDee Lamb all this money, and you're dropping passes. You can't win football games like that. All the while, Philly wins by a score of 24-20 and proving themselves to 1-0 and playing host a rematch next week. It's America's Game of the Week. I'm going to be tuning in. I know you guys are going to be tuning in. The Eagles playing host to the Kansas City Chiefs. We have a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. Now, speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs played Friday night against the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chargers, let's call it what it is. The Chargers shocked them. Once the Chargers got one of the Harbaugh brothers to coach their team, and he was working on their defense, the Chargers got better. And not only did he work on his defense, what did I say last week? The offensive line for a lot of teams have to get better. And Jim Harbaugh did that. He worked on his defense. He worked on his offense. They was leaving Justin Herbert time to throw the ball. He was running all throughout the Chiefs. Unfortunately, Xavier Worthy got hurt in this game. It's a possibility that he might play this week or next week. We'll see. But the Chargers upset the Chiefs in Brazil by a score of 27-21. This game shocked me. It could have went either way. Herbert wanted it more, and he proved why. Now, on Sunday, the New Orleans Saints hosted at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Saints started Spencer Rattler and thought he was going to lead the Saints to a win. Now I see what the Saints and Mickey Loomis and everybody over there is trying to do. You're trying to gather this team and get draft picks and have a hope to get Arch Manning. Now, Arch Manning is a great quarterback. He's a great college quarterback. This is the NFL. I get that his uncle is Peyton and Eli and his dad is Arch Manning himself. I still have to see it for myself what Arch Manning Jr. can do and the National Football League once he get drafted. But the Saints, they put up a good fight. Unfortunately, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals wasn't having it. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. a nice weapon over there to pair with Kyler Murray. You got James Conner at running back. You got Bubba Wallace at defense. The Cardinals can shock a lot of teams this year. They shocked the Saints at home, beating them by a score of 20-13. Now, Giants fans should be kicking themselves in the back because I'm going to be getting on the Giants fans so later on this show. But for right now, Daniel Jones, really? It take you to leave the Giants organization. Now you want to play like you an all-star? Where was this in New York, Daniel Jones? He threw for 3 touchdowns and no interceptions and rushed for 1. Really, Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts shocked. And and not only shocked, they whooped the Miami Dolphins by a score of 33-8. You heard me right. 33-8. Now, Daniel Jones, you want to be Danny Dimes and start throwing where was that in New York? Congratulations, Daniel Jones. That's going to be the only game you win this year. You better hope you don't get hurt. Now, moving on to 2 teams who I see as a wild card team. You have the Las Vegas Raiders against the New England Patriots. Now, we all know that the Patriots haven't been the same since Tom Brady. We see that. And what Las Vegas did was bring in Pete Carroll. They saw what Pete Carroll did in Seattle with Russell Wilson. You brought home a championship. You bring in Pete Carroll, and you bring in Geno Smith. Geno Smith was the most improved player of the year last year. He improved Seattle, brought them to the playoffs, almost went all the way, but they got bumped in the divisional round, and now he's a Las Vegas Raider. Now, and the Raiders got a new weapon at running back. That kid he can do something. The Raiders shocking the Patriots in New England, beating them by a score of 20-13. Now, here's a game that I was very interested in, and it shocked me, and it could have went either way. I said it last week. You had Justin Fields, newly acquired Justin Fields, and the New York Jets, coached by a former Lions defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. Yes, Aaron Glenn is the coach of the Jets now. And they're taking on Mike Tomlin and former Jet quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So you got Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh and you got Justin Fields in New York. This game could have went either way. I was impressed by both teams. I was impressed by what I saw from Aaron Glenn coaching the Jets, and I see a bright future in the Jets. Justin Fields, you're on the right coaching staff. You got the right coach to coach you. You got the team in your hands now. Everything is in your hands now. What are you going to do with that, Aaron Glenn? So, with that being said, Aaron Rodgers proved that he was still Aaron Rodgers, and he beat the Jets by a score of 34-32. It could have went either way, ladies and gentlemen. Last second play, Steelers got some great players on defense. They added Jalen Ramsey. They swapped Jalen Ramsey for Mika Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins, and now Jalen Ramsey and TJ Watt and a few others is dangerous on that Pittsburgh defensive line. So Pittsburgh could be dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. It could be a shock in Pittsburgh. Here's where y'all Giants fans going to hurt. It's going to hurt. The New York Football Giants took on Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Russell Wilson coming in from Pittsburgh. You're bringing Jameis Wilson. You draft Jackson Dart, and you're going against Jaden Daniels. Now, the Washington Commanders, they made some key moves to me on both sides of the ball. You bring in Deebo Samuel from San Francisco. You got Von Miller on the defensive line with them other boys. Them boys is hungry. Unfortunately, the Commanders did what the Commanders supposed to do at home. Only thing that the Giants could do in this game is kick field goals. Russell Wilson, it wasn't it. And now everybody's talking about bench Russ, let Russ cook. You got Dallas next week. Let's see. But Washington shocked the Giants, beating them by a score of 21-6. Moving on, Jacksonville and Carolina. Now everybody was excited about Trevor Lawrence, and they got this new kid coming in from Colorado. Yay, he can play both sides of the ball. Let's see what this kid can do. Trevor Lawrence threw to him a couple of times. He went on defense and did what he's supposed to do. This kid can be a weapon. Travis Hunter can be a weapon for Trevor Lawrence. Maybe Travis Hunter was what Jacksonville was looking for because, like I said, Travis Hunter could play both sides of the ball. He could be a receiver. He could be a cornerback. The kid is that good. Jacksonville beating Carolina by a score of 26-10 and proving to 1-0. Now, this game was close. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Now, everybody knows that Cleveland drafted Shedeur. Everybody knows what happened to Shedeur Sanders' brother and Tampa Bay playing Buffalo. He slapped the guy in the helmet, got flagged for it, got kicked off the team. Now Cleveland brings him in. Let's see what these boys can do. Unfortunately, they didn't play Shedeur Sanders. They started their veteran quarterback, Joe Flacco, against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and the Cincinnati Bengals. This game was back and forth. It could have went either way, but Cincinnati pulling it off the upset, winning by 1 point, winning by a score of 17-16. Joe Burrow and the returning Bengals improved to 1-0. Can they keep up that momentum next week? We'll see. Next, we had Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, and the Bucs with Mike Evans are going against who? Is it Kirk Cousins? Is it Michael Penix Jr. and the Atlanta Hawks? The Atlanta Falcons. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. My mind is somewhere else. The Atlanta Falcons. You bring in Kirk Cousins, you draft Michael Penix Jr. Let's see what Michael Penix Jr. could do. Everybody wanted to see what Michael Penix Jr. could have did last year. Can he shock y'all this year and do it? Let's see. But unfortunately, Tampa's defense, coached by former Jets coach Todd Bowles, a defensive coach. Now he's coaching Tampa Bay. Todd Bowles is an excellent defensive coach. Him, Brian Flores, Mike Tomlin, to name a few. Dan Campbell, got to put him in there too. But sorry, Detroit fans, got to get on y'all too. But back to Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Tampa pulling off the upset, winning by a field goal at the end of the game. Winning by a score of 23-20, moving to 1-0. San Francisco and Seattle. Now, Brock Purdy, we all know he's coming in. Christian McCaffrey's coming back. You lost Deebo Samuel. So what can Brock Purdy do? You got weapons in there that you can use, and San Francisco defense is still dangerous. Brock Purdy went in there and played Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, we all saw what Sam Darnold did in Minnesota, who I'm talking about in a few minutes. Now he's in Seattle with a new coach and a new system. What can Sam Darnold do? This was a good back and forth game to me, but Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers wanted it more. Won it by a score of 17-13. It could have been anybody's game, but at the end, Seattle could not just bring the ball down the field. You're bringing this guy to bringing the ball down the field, and the defensive linemen and the defensive tackles and the defensive ends, the linebackers, they're reading the quarterback's eyes, and defense wins championships. So let's see what San Francisco's defense can do moving forward. You know who else defense I was disgusted with this week? Shout out to my boy Chaos. Sorry about this, but Detroit Lions. Y'all was so excited. Oh, we're bringing in all our players. Aiden Hutchinson is back. Jared Goff is healthy. We got Amar St. Brown. We got Jamar Gibbs. We got some people. Yay. Green Bay did too. And we spoke about this last week. Dallas doing the dumbest trade in the world, trading Micah Parsons to Green Bay for Kenny Clark and 2 draft picks. Look what Micah Parsons did in his return. Immediately sacking Jared Goff, causing problems, waking up guys. That defense was hungry. They was catching interceptions. They was throwing touchdowns. Jordan Love was looking like a superstar, which shocked me and shocked Detroit fans as well. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do anything. Green Bay at home, shocking Detroit, beating them by a score of 27-13. And I'm going to talk about the Packers going into week 2 because last night they played the Commanders. And I'm going to talk about that game in a minute. But let's talk about the Los Angeles Houston Texans. A lot of people's kicking themselves in the back with this game too. CJ Stroud, young quarterback, young, gifted, talented, got some weapons over there. Nico Collins is still there. You got Joe Mixon now. You got weapons over there. Brandon Cooks is still over there. You got weapons. But playing Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Precious Nakua, and the Rams. The Rams team, still good, still hungry. Last time in the Super Bowl, Aaron Donald on their team. He retired a few years back. Sean McVay was like, okay, let me revamp my defense. Let me go pick up some guys that I know is going to be hungry enough to either stop the run, go after the quarterback, or run down the ball with them receivers. We're going to be all over y'all. So the Rams did what they're supposed to do at home, won it by a score of 14-9. Game of the week to me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what nobody say. We had two MVPs battling it out. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Now, I know Buffalo Bills fans are going crazy right now, but this was anybody's game. And Baltimore do what they do every single year. You start off red hot. The first 2 quarters, Baltimore was all over them. Derrick Henry running the ball. Lamar running for touchdowns. Zay Flowers was wide open. Second half, Josh Allen. And he's going to be a 2-time MVP. He's my pick going into this year for MVP. That's just me personally. Josh Allen in the second half played like Josh Allen. And they came from 15 and 20 points down, shocking the Ravens at home, kicking the game-winning field goal, beating Baltimore, shocking the Ravens by a score of 41-40. You got 2 MVPs throwing down the ball, bringing their team back and forth. I just can't understand why the Ravens do this every year. Last year was the toe. This year, you let Buffalo come back. You knew Josh Allen was capable of doing this. He did it last year. You knew what Josh Allen was capable of, and he just shocked y'all and took the win. Y'all had the win in your hands. Your defense got lazy in the second half. Your secondary was lazy. You was leaving their receivers open. James Cook was running all over y'all. Josh Allen was Josh Allen, and y'all couldn't stop him. So now the Buffalo Bills are 1-0, and Jet fans should be dangerous because next week, Buffalo play host to Justin Fields and the New York Jets. Now, everybody was excited about J.J. McCarthy coming back Monday night. You went to Chicago, you play host to Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears should be kicking themselves in the face right now because y'all had this game too. And you let J.J. McCarthy, who didn't play a single snap last year, to me, this is J.J. McCarthy's rookie year. He comes in And y'all had the lead. What, 20? It was 27-14. 24-14, as a matter of fact. My fault. Y'all couldn't get past 24. J.J. McCarthy. Justin Jefferson is still Justin Jefferson. You got Addison. They got Adam Thielen back. Minnesota could be dangerous too. I'm sorry. They got the right offensive line. Brian Flores is on defense. He knows what he's doing on defense. I said earlier in the show, the most dangerous defensive coaches, Todd Bowles, Dan Quinn, Brian Flores. Don't want to see them, and you got to add Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers up there too. I'm sorry. You don't want to see these boys on defense. Monday night, J.J. McCartney, after coming back from 14 or 10 points back, Minnesota dragging the ball down the field, Justin Jefferson being Justin Jefferson, Minnesota shot Chicago at home, beating them by a score of 27-24. Caleb Williams. Take your time, buddy. Take your time. The season just started. You want to get your receivers up and down the field. Your running back isn't cooking. Hand the ball over to your tight end. That's what they down there for. Use them. Last night, ladies and gentlemen, we spoke about these Packers earlier in the show. We had the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field playing host to Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Now, this game right here, I wanted to see two things. Number one, is Green Bay's defense for real? Number two, can Jordan Love do it 2 weeks in a row? They did just that. With the addition of Micah Parsons on this defense, that defense woke up. Green Bay could be a shocker in the NFC. But you can't sleep on the Philadelphia Eagles because they just signed Zadarius Smith. So you got Jalen Carter, and now you add Zadarius Smith. I see the Eagles, and this is going to be a shocker. I'm making my early Super Bowl prediction. I see Buffalo and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I think this is the year that Josh Allen finally gets over the Mahomes hat factor. I think this year Josh Allen rediscovered himself. And now look what he's doing. He's playing with confidence. He's happy. He's got his team playing with confidence. His coaches is giving him the whole playbook. Buffalo could be dangerous in the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now. Don't be mad at me when I say this. Don't be shocked if you see Buffalo in the Super Bowl. It's been a while. They got the talent and the pieces to do it. Don't sleep on Josh Allen. I'm telling you right now, don't sleep on Josh Allen. But Jordan Love was throwing the ball down the field. No interceptions this game. He believed in his line. You bring in Josh Jacobs, who I think could be one of the candidates of leading the league in rushing this year, next to my boy Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. We'll see. But Josh Jacobs was Josh Jacobs last night. He rushed for 2 touchdowns last night. Jordan Love threw for 2, maybe 3 touchdowns last night. Washington couldn't do nothing in the second half. You waited to score a touchdown late in the second half when kicking field goals in the first half was not going to do it at all for your football team. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Jordan Love Micah Parsons is another one. He's happy. He's not under Jerry Jones no more. He don't have to listen to all the nonsense going on in Dallas. You can finally go out there and be happy and play football. And that's exactly what he did last night. He got 1 or 2 sacks last night, stopping Jaden Daniels. Washington couldn't do nothing. They beat the Washington Commanders by a score of 27-18. Folks, this game, it was over when the game started. Let's just be real. Washington couldn't score. Green Bay was taking the ball up and down the field. They was paying attention to Jaden Daniels. They was all over Debo. They did their thing. And now, for the first time, Green Bay is 2-0. Can they keep this momentum up? We shall see. There's a lot of week 2 games coming up. We got Baltimore trying to bounce back, and we got another team that's trying to bounce back. They're going against Cleveland. You got Buffalo and the Jets. You got the Giants and the Cowboys. Get your popcorn ready for the Giants and the Cowboys. Are the Giants going to start Russell Wilson, or are they going to give Jackson Dart a chance? Here's my take on that. It was week 1. The Commanders was hungry to get that win at home. It was their home opener. And now, Giants fans, you're going to Dallas. It is tough to beat Dak Prescott in Dallas. But the Giants acquired some key pieces in defense and offense. But here's my problem with the Giants. It's Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. It's Russell Wilson. When you get Russell Wilson under pressure, he is trash, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I'm saying it right now. Forgive me, Giants fans, but it's the truth. We saw it in Seattle. That's why Seattle let him go. He tried it in Denver. Sean Payton was like, absolutely not. Get him out of here. The Giants was like, let's give him a chance. You saw what happened week 1. That was just one game. I get it. You're going into Dallas for week number 2. If I'm the New York Giants, I'm focusing on my defense. Let the offense come. It'll wake up itself. You have to stop Dak early. If Dak starts running the ball with that running back, and you got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, got weapons. You have to stop those weapons early. Because if Dak gets hot at home, it is tough to beat Dallas at home. And you do not want to start the season 0-2. Jets fans, you too. You got Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. We saw what Josh Allen did coming back at home, beating, I think, one of the best teams in the AFC to me, and Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens next to the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo. Who else can you put up there? I'll put the Chargers up there. Let's see. The Steelers I can see the Steelers up there. Colts, I don't know yet. Miami, absolutely not. Cleveland, absolutely not. New England, absolutely not. We'll see. We shall see. Folks, that was our week 1/week 2 takes. My week 2 takes. I'm giving y'all that right now. Philly and Kansas City, to me, is going to be that's the game of the week to watch. Unfortunately, I got the Eagles upsetting the Chiefs, and I see this game won by a score of 30-27 Eagles. I got the Eagles winning by a field goal. I can see, I'm giving hope to y'all, I can see the Jets shocking Buffalo. Yes, I do. Aaron Glenn is smart on defense. I see the Jets upsetting Buffalo. It's going to pain me to say this. Giants and Dallas is a toss-up to me. But I have to give the edge to Dallas at home because, like I said, every time the Giants play the Cowboys, week 2, what happens? Dak starts being a superstar that we have never seen before. You running in, you scrambling, you throwing the ball down the end zone for touchdowns. This is going to be a lot of games that's going on week number 2 this week. Week 3, Thursday night, we got Buffalo again and Miami. Now, Buffalo for the first time and this season could go 3-0. But I see them losing one of these games. I see them going 2-1 because Thursday they play host to Tua and the Miami Dolphins. Now, Miami hasn't been the same. Can Miami pull off an upset? We'll see. Folks, that was week number 2. Thank you for joining me. Tune in tonight. Jump over the barricade. SmackDown. Watch along. Right after, we have Worlds Collide. Right after SmackDown. So your boy is doing a triple, and I love it. So make sure you guys tune in tonight. Jump over the barricade. SmackDown watch along. Right after Worlds Collide. Next week, Thursday, week 3. Are we going to see a lot of shockers? Let's see. I want to thank my fans for tuning in. This week's edition of 100 Yards and Running. Tune in tonight. SmackDown watch along. Worlds Collide. I hope to see y'all there. This your boy Reg. Peace and love, y'all. Have a good Friday. I'm out.